Desolation Days and Knack Brekka Nights. That's right, folks. We're back for Sagas of Sundry, Quests and Answers. We're breaking down the latest episode of Goblin Mode for you right now. I'm Dan Casey, and today we're going to get into what might be our craziest episode yet. But first, I have to introduce my amazing castmates. As always, I'm joined by
Danielle Radford,
Amy Vorpahl,
Jason Nguyen.
And folks, I mean, this should go without saying at this point, but in case you just woke up Don't Wake Daddy style in your bed or couch or wherever you are, and you're like, why is this podcast or video series playing, and you didn't watch the previous episode, spoilers ahead for episode 4 of Goblin Mode. So if you haven't seen it, don't go no further, or listen, then come back later. Okay, good? Good. All right, let's get into it. That was a boondoggle.
That was a crazy one.
There were many dice rolls and many bad dice rolls.
There were.
Yeah, we consistently beefed it, but in a way that escalated to me some of the almost like Looney Tunesian tension of some of this stuff where, once again, our knack for just
Mischief.
not letting go of a specific situation or perceived social slight yielded some unexpected results, starting with a tavern brawl.
Two kind of like two
Yeah, we doubled
ones.
down. You know what they say, rule of twos.
Yeah. Right?
Just
Double trouble.
Do it at least again.
Did you expect us to?
No. No.
Are you seeing a pattern with us now?
I just looked like you were egging a guy on and
Well, were we egging him on, or was I telling him about true love?
Yeah, both of those things were true, but like it's a again like I'm in this mode of like, oh, I've got to play some stinkers and
What kind of mode?
stinker mode.
Oh, okay.
Sticker mode.
That's a different show.
Yeah.
I am also on
Goblin
sticker mode.
mode.
Yeah.
Dan, don't try
Stinker
to set
mode.
me up. Not after playing an episode like that.
I want to
and
see stinker mode. I'd rather play that game.
what kind of mode? The answer is
Stinker?
Sticker, definitely sticker mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely look. We are coming from a world where that sort of behavior is encouraged, and we were genuinely trying to connect the dots. And how are we to know this might have been this werebor's true love?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, the werebore. I mean, it's a good question. Like, what would you look like before you turned and had like a light? And then, my brain. I don't know. Here we are. Yeah.
I like that most of the episode unfolded with you two half dead because you just got absolutely annihilated
Yes.
by the werebore at the
that's
beginning.
right.
Yeah.
And we never healed.
What?
did not heal.
How
No.
many hit points do you
I'm
have?
at 7.
Out of?
Out of 19.
I am at 9 out of 17.
Okay.
I'm at full health.
Right. That could have been very bad for
Yeah.
either or both of you. Interesting.
Yeah, I was reserving a burning hands in case I had to burn down the bar, the auction, pretty much anything.
Oh wow. Okay. So
That's how we solve problems.
There was some stuff going on.
Look,
We burn them.
in case of emergency, arson.
Arson. Yeah, we had some appearances of the Mage Hand, Unseen Servant, lots of spells being cast.
Yeah. You couldn't see any of mine, though.
No, yours never. Poor Tippy. Oh man, poor Tippy. So what was it like? I mean, this was not this kind of combat-y type of. It was more of a combat-y episode, but not in any real sense of the word. Like it was also social,
Yeah, I think social combat is our specialty, apparently. But
They're black
I
belts
thought
now.
it was a good balance of, we had some more like kind of crunchy regular combat in the bar. But for me, the most exciting was when we got to the chase sequence, and I want to talk about that in a bit. But I want to get there chronologically because there's some other stuff that happened in between there. I thought there was a good balance. I mean, with a system like this, combat can slow down to a crawl sometimes if you're not prepared. But it was exciting because we weren't trying to like kill anyone or do damage. We were trying to steal a finger to maybe join a union and betray them? I don't know.
It's so interesting. Yeah, actually, like from my vantage point, it's actually really interesting that there was a lot of motivation to help out this air elemental and join get an in to the Fiends Union, and I assume it's because you want to take them down from the inside.
Definitely, I want to get some more, since they seem to get the drop on all of these other, everything we're hearing is it sounds like as soon as a dungeon gets like swept up by these Gallotlings, they are immediately there to sweep in. They obviously know something. And so I want to get more information on like what they know, how they know it, and what's going on with Unzug. And so like right now, that seems to be like our best kind of lead to finding out more answers, because they seem really shady.
And why is this monster fiend union run by a human? I want to know who Kaya is and what her deal is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Cool. I like knowing that y'all want to know these things.
Yeah, no. If you give us a thread, we will pull it. We may not follow where it leads, but we will pull it.
A lot.
No?
Yeah.
You don't say.
Look, at least we shifted from debating about dungeon dollars to gold in terms of what constitutes a finger and in terms of equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
We had Full Metal Alchemist on this.
100%.
Yes, plenty of exchanges are being made. What is the cost and what is the consequence? We love to see it. So, but I will say Tippy did wind up diffusing the situation.
Yes.
With a really skilled kind of artificer move.
Well, yeah.
Amid
I've got this cool ability, magical tinkering, and I feel like I needed to put it to use. The thing is, like, Tippy wants to support his friends, and he doesn't want to derail a situation every time. It's just that it happens. And, I felt that, like, true to his character, I don't think somebody as scared as Tippy would just chop up his own finger and hand it away, right? So there's got to be another way.
I love the justification that, you're an artificer. Like this, it's like a piano player. Like, why would you just do this?
Right. So he tried to lie his way to the end.
None of it
did it work?
worked.
No.
But
You tripled down on the deception.
I'm going to try 3 times with a -2 to charisma. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I love that because it's a creative way out of it, making use of the classes, abilities, and I don't know, just a creative way to escape this situation ultimately. And like true to form for Tippy, just like, okay, I'm not big combat bruiser. I'm gonna have to use my smarts to figure out how I can escape here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the biggest getting out of it was kind of making a robot finger.
Yeah, like a prosthetic finger, sort of.
For an undead guy who just happened to really dig it and it was just planned like that all along. It's like, wait, what? When you're thinking about planning an adventure, you don't go okay, and then the way to
if finger is cut off.
If the finger is cut off, then
the
restore with there's no version of this where it could have been pre-written.
I just saw a world where Tippy, the other end of that is Tippy going it and just launching crossbow bolts off in the town square, and I felt like that maybe wasn't the vibe.
Starting a battle when Knack Brekka Rules apply.
Yeah.
In the middle of this auction.
Knack Brekka Rules.
Knack Brekka Rules.
I want to talk about the auction as well, because I was just like, oh, what is happening here? And now I'm curious what items we missed out on.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You don't have to tell us.
No.
We can come back.
I just realized that there may have been other items.
Yeah.
Just
we are going back for that shirt.
Oh, 100%. It reminded me of when that spider is auctioning off Ebenezer Scrooge's clothes in Muppet Christmas Carol. What have you got for old Joe?
I was just like, oh, story item, definitely need that thing. But then we were like, we just don't like this other guy, and we're gonna chase him.
And he's also giving us tons of reasons. He's acting really shady. As soon as he saw me, he's gotta. There's gotta be a reason for that, and we are searching for answers. And I guess I am going back for Unzug's shirt because
you have to.
You won it in the auction fair and square. We all heard it.
We all look. It was called for me.
Yeah, I
favor.
heard someone say that in the distance while I was about to puke bones.
It's really fun. It's really funny to see like where priorities are, and to know that like the reality of the world is this auction guy is trying to do a thing, but however, you, the main characters, are also trying to do a thing. There's got a job to do, but also you're like seeing that your companions kind of got it for the moment, like they got it, and I need my freaking toy that sent me into a vision.
That is a comedically beautiful scene. Fibs and Tippy running out of breath, like full bore chase after somebody, like jumping
Cutting
over
back
carts.
to negotiating auction prices. I actually don't have that much
counting
money.
coins.
Yes, so flirting. Oh my gosh. Well, a
So
couple
good.
of Unzug's eyebrow brush, because as we know, he does have expert level eyebrows.
Of course he does.
A book called The History of Souls and Where They Go, a classic for a
He is
necromancer.
all browerful.
One Cursed Stone and Unzug Ink wall sconce.
Wait.
Man.
As in Unzug
We gotta go
Incorporated? Or is it?
Look, that's what it says in my DM notes. Who knows if that's
Is this just his loan
come out of
out?
my mouth?
I had no idea that we were incorporated. Is Unzug been using this dungeon as a tax dodge?
Are we a shell company?
I think that's why he's so anti-union.
Damn it.
Wow, we're getting wrapped up in a conspiracy we had no idea.
Yeah, I want to move away from that ASAP. I have no idea.
Wait, so I want to talk about the chase mechanics, but first I want to talk about I think the coolest thing that happened at the auction, which was we got a glimpse into
Yes.
Busy's
Oh,
past.
yes.
Yeah. Very, Busy apparently has always been a little striver in life and in unlife. Busy is like me. Busy likes to get gold stars. So Busy is obviously tickled pink that like she's in the
Yeah, what do you
meditation gifted and talented program.
Yeah.
I was a gifted kid in school.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all. The thing about gifted kid, you were a gifted kid when, So obviously that's something that Busy takes a lot of pride in, and so now I'm extra interested to see like what the Chimeron is going to play into that, and what exactly it was that they were doing and meditating, like what the name was that was on the scroll. And mostly, I think, not Danielle, but Busy just wants to have more visions about how competent she is, and other people telling her she's competent. Because if you see in the episode,
I bet she does.
Yeah, as Amy has clued on to, Busy loves validation, and Busy is trying a bunch of new stuff. And so Busy's like, I've never been cool. Let's try to be cool and see what that looks like. Like, I'm trying to flirt. I don't know what that looks like. Let's see. And they're like, oh,
I do like,
A lot of first times for Busy.
Yes. Every time I was like, okay, Busy, it's your turn. What would you like to do for your turn? Well, she's going to try something she's never tried before.
You know that picture of John Lennon doing the weird walk with the wide legs? I'm gonna do that across the pond.
And I love the attention to like the bone flavor. Like even when you're like going through the crowd like that, it's like, oh, the hands are of course detached, because why?
Yeah.
They're not doing anything. So.
There's no purpose in keeping everything up there if I can just leave those babies right there.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot of fun with bone stuff. Taking them off, throwing them around, picking up jaws.
Yes.
Lot of fun with bones and
Bone
being a
mechanics.
creepy little
An extremely
independent
fun
hand.
character race to mess around with and just explore all the things that you wouldn't be able to do with your stock standard half elf or any of those other more traditional player characters.
Yes. The skeleton of it all is fun mechanics-based situation too, which we found out in the chase too.
Well, speaking of mechanics, I want to talk about that chase because
Yeah.
I've never experienced a chase in a tabletop RPG like this, and I loved how you handled it. So, what was that process like? Did you anticipate a chase? Was this?
I hoped for a chase.
Okay.
I will say that I hoped that Crandall would be chased after. Not to say that he would
let
or
him
whatever. Yeah,
Could
We'll get you
imagine
next
if we're
time.
Who's that guy? Bye.
But
Let's buy more stuff at the auction.
Just to get a little in my brain, a lot of times in D&D, there's this kind of sense that, oh, you might know someone here, right? Could be, maybe.
Yeah.
And with you all, it's not quite like that. I think Tippy would be one exception. Like for some goblins, you might have known them in your like prepubescent years. But for Crandall, like placing him there, it's like, well, that's one guy, and if he's anyway, well, I just don't want to say too much, but yeah, Crandall did survive, obviously. He also very clearly got out before you all, right? If he was already at this town, so it's like, okay, well, there's an amazing, just a thing where it's like, oh, you're in a space and a land where you don't know anything, you're trying things for the first time, and yet here's this freaking nasty person that you hate, you have an emotional connection to, and you just know him, so it's like familiar in a very emotional way. It's too good not to use.
Yeah. Imagine seeing the worst person in your office on your day off.
After everyone had been like laid off,
Yes.
but like they like left for a better job first.
Or not even seeing them in the office, it's like seeing them on your vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Crandall.
This guy.
Crandall.
So for the chase mechanics, I do want to give a shout out. This is from awesomedice.com, and a specific, the writer is Riley Rath. Now, Riley doesn't do anything that's like sacrilegious to Dungeons and Dragons, but what they do, and I've experienced this too, is sometimes in D&D, the chase mechanics are slow. And in a chase scene, especially if you want it to feel epic and cinematic, it has to be fast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
so how do you do that? And I used about 5 of his 10 kind of mechanics, and the way that he does it is like, oh, you set a timer for the friggin' players.
I loved that. It made everything feel so like you got to make a decision right this second.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really added to like the tension, and it really like it gives it. We feel the chase, like we are in the chase.
Yeah.
We've been put into it because we have to make like all these snap decisions.
Right.
Other than just the obvious thing that we had way too much fun for way too long, and we have an episode to wrap up.
Yes.
It is other than the production part of it. It also just does make it seem really interesting, where it's like everyone is suddenly there is an urgency, like a huge sense of urgency when you employ that.
Yeah.
and
also
it makes you come up with stuff because you can't think. There's no time to think. You just have to come up and
It's
throw
just
stuff
like
at the wall.
pure id. And I also love the D4 mechanic to see who has to deal with adversity in this particular round.
Yeah, and there, just so you know, there is a chase complications table in the Dungeon Master's Guide. So they have like D&D, they've got it pretty figured out. And yeah, that's something. The other thing. So between complications and the other dice rolls and actions that you're able to take, what these new mechanics kind of assume is like, well, okay, we already know that you're going to be traveling as fast as you can, which means you're dashing, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing that isn't that fun is normally it's like you can dash, but then there's a mechanic. It's like the way D&D writes it, it's very much like, oh, here's some extra mechanics for you to do math in the middle of a chase.
Yeah.
As opposed to going, well, let's tally, and at some point you might have to slow down because you're
Right.
tired.
Yes.
And okay, if you're running as fast as you can, like it sucks if that's your action to dash. Like that
Yeah, you
sucks.
can't do
So
anything.
like let's add something else that you as a character can add to the scene.
It's also nice because it sort of removes the idea that, and I know that there's like different races some of them can move at different speeds, but I like the idea that it takes away, oh, not everyone's running exactly 30 feet per second in perpetuity.
Yeah, then you're just adding, and you're like, okay, well, if you dash, then that's 60 feet. Okay, but
Yeah.
if you did that, okay, but you're slowed a little bit. Okay, difficult terrain. Like now you're just like,
Yeah, puts
what?
the action at the forefront.
Yeah,
which
the
is
action
nice.
at the forefront.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
so-
it's still challenging
Yeah.
because you've got that.
right. So like, yeah, different spells. It's kind of like, well, in order to get them off, you might need to.
But
be
what I
disadvantaged.
love the most about that chase scene is it played out so like organically. Of course, these like henchmen can't do it normally.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I could imagine the chase scene with like, replace us with like the Fellowship of the Ring, and like I could picture Legolas somersaulting, over crates and somebody shooting an arrow and like,
Extremely Merry and Pippin coded.
Yeah. But like we're like Tippy's like throwing a lasso that lands like 3 feet in front of him. You know what I mean? You're throwing your staff and missing, going, dang it. You're throwing your whole head.
Yeah.
Whole head.
But she hit.
That hit,
Yes.
and the other illusion that did work was the minor illusion of the Roger Rabbit
Amazing.
door.
So grateful when that worked.
That was actually really cool, and then failed the save, and it was like, in the moment he might be like, oh yeah, let's go up to that.
Yeah.
But then you failed whatever was next time.
I tried to
and
shoot
so you were like, dang, that
yeah.
should have. No, I think that was a door, and just that whole thing. Like part of chases to me should feel that almost cartoony, because heist chases are cartoony.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
car chases, like they just are, even if it's live action. Like the rules are just, they're nuts.
It was so good. It was like exactly what I wanted it to be.
It also, our failures played out in such a way that they naturally led us to the like finale cul-de-sac where it's like, okay, something has to go right here or else you're doomed.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it did a lot did go right, and you also walked right into more.
Yeah,
danger.
now we're cornered with a gun and
Yeah.
we're out of breath.
We kettled ourselves.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you did.
And are you then your body is just like not with
Catching
you.
up.
yeah.
yeah, but he'll take. I think this guy, now that the skeleton has secured his jaw onto Crandall, he'll be doing ongoing damage.
Yeah. My little skeleton is like because she's continuing to bite even when they came over and Busy said hi. She was still saying bye with like a
Yes.
mouthful of shoulder.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Oh my god.
So yeah, when the rest of my body catches up, we'll figure it out then.
We'll figure it out. I have never played with undead skeletons before, but what a fun way to kind of really make up some weird attack mechanics.
That was as soon as the idea of like being a skeleton and doing like that was literally that run that I did there, that's why I wanted to be a skeleton. And all of the like creepy hand stuff, like moving it around like thing or any of the bone throwing or throwing my head independent. These are all the reasons why I was like skeleton, because I've never been able to do anything like that before in like a D&D or in any like tabletop game. And so I was like, I want to do stuff I'm not able to do in like other games. That's part of the fun of like being the hench squad, being the terror squad.
The terror squad.
Terror squad to use.
Tippy just wants to just prove that he's worth being your guys' friends. You know what I mean? Because I feel like Tippy just can't help but cause some mischief and some trouble.
He almost did some really cool stuff.
He almost did some
So
really
close.
cool
And the
stuff.
artificing stuff is cool. And we should get some of those I Heart TS shirts. That'll be for us.
Yeah.
Oh, these are legally distinct. It's not who you think we'll be talking about.
TS.
Man.
All right.
I'll get there.
Well, I know for a fact that Tippy is not just on the precipice of greatness, but about to cross over into it. That is assuming that we withstand someone pulling a gun on us in an alleyway. I can't wait to see what happens next time. We'll find out together on a brand new episode of Sagas of Sundry Goblin Mode each and every Monday on Geek and Sundry and wherever fine podcasts are served. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.